in Jehovah.
What's going on, YouTube? How you doing? How you doing? First and foremost, I want to thank everyone for the love and support. And like I always say, I will always be humble and thankful for that. And before we get started, please hit that subscribe button for your boy. Please hit that subscribe button for your boy. Godfrey again. Lord have mercy. Now, Godfrey has a podcast called 154. So basically, he interviewed all these people from the diaspora, and they always ask them questions. But Black Americans always come up in the conversation for some odd reason. But I do understand. When you talk about Black Americans, your views gonna go up. When you raise Black Americans, your views gonna go up. When you click certain videos of when people talk about Black Americans, everything gonna go up. Totally understand. That's how content creation go. Y'all say some outlandish things. People like myself and others in the comments or content creators, we're gonna talk about it. And reason why I talk about it, because I do see a lot of Africans say this. And what I'm talking about, here go the clip right here, what I'm talking about.
Do you think every Black American should try to find out their roots? Because what if we are amongst a bunch of royals and we don't even know it? Like, it'd be cool if some of my homies from school, and I'm like, man, I didn't know I was supposed to be calling you sir this and, Prince this. It makes me wonder how many other people are from royal families and don't even know it.
Or even just royal or not, just amazing.
Where are you from? Where's your family?
We all are.
But we call each other king anyway.
That's right.
What's up, king? What's up, queen? We gonna tack it on anyway.
Yeah.
Now, y'all just watch that clip. So my question to my Black Americans is this. Should Black Americans find out their roots, as the Africans say? Should we know our roots? Should we know our roots? And I say, yes, we should know our roots. Our roots are tied to America. So everything that we learn should be tied here, not tied to Africa. Especially if you indigenous to this land, if you're descendants of emancipated people, and you got multiple generations tied to this land. In my opinion, there's no reason to look towards Africa for anything. We've been just using the transatlantic slave trade or white folks bringing Africans here, which it wasn't that many. But even just the start of America, we shouldn't be looking towards Africa. Period. And that's my thing. So yes, I think Black people should trace their roots. I think Black people should know where they come from. Now, do our roots trace back to Africa? I don't know where your roots come from. I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't know. But for me and others that I have been talking to, no, it does not reach Africa. It just does not at all. And my thing is this, we need to stop doing that. We just need to stop. We need to stop thinking that we come from Africa. And that's my personal opinion, because I don't have nobody in my family reunion that came from Africa. I don't have no immigrants in my family. There's things that's in my family, right, in Mississippi, where we have like a family church, right? And then this family church been around for a long time. And there are names of people that passed away, names of people that have been married, names of people that have even been divorced, names of children that have been born within the family, that was married into the family and stuff like that. It's a list of that. And none of them have African names. None of them by their name shows what the state they from, but it don't show anything about Africa. It don't show nothing about Africa. We know where we come from. We can trace everything here through census, through genealogy, through court records, through everything. We can do that. We don't have to do a DNA test just to be 100. DNA tests only good for like, hey baby, is that baby mine, girl? Or can I find my mama and dad? I need to find my mama and dad, so let me put my DNA out here so I can find my mama and dad. And DNA only go back 5 generations. So it wouldn't make no sense for me to do a DNA test, see if I'm connected to some people in Africa. That's just a fact. And I think that's something I think that a lot of Africans can't comprehend, that we're not them. Just because we got the same skin color doesn't mean anything. We got the same skin color as them Indian people out there. You know, the ones that be making them poop scoops and stuff. We got the same skin color as them. Why Africans don't never come at them and say they African? You got dark-skinned Filipinos. Why Africans don't come at them? The main people they need to be talking to is the people in South America. Well, all them Africans there, all them West Africans down there, they never try to connect with them. But they always want to connect with us. They always try to browbeat us, talking about, you don't know who you are, you don't know where you from, you don't have a land, you a lost nigga. No, y'all are lost. Y'all don't know who y'all are. Listen, man. Africa has so many wars, y'all, especially in Central and West Africa, including North Africa too. Maybe I'm just say the whole Africa. The whole Africa has so many wars where people ran east, ran west, ran north, ran south. Then another war comes, then it just goes back again. They just all Sprite remix. None of these people just been in one particular place all their life. Maybe what, Somalia, Ethiopia, maybe. But even them, some of them been remixed all over on the east side of the world, east side of Africa. So for them to think that we don't know who we are, we can't trace who we are. We know who we are. Matter of fact, we know who our great grandparents are by name, by date of birth. These people don't know when their great grandparents were born. They don't. They just know their great grandparents stitches on the wall or something saying boom doom day done day. That's it. We don't know who was that. Who was that? What was the day when they were born? Where they tombstone at? Where they were buried at? Where can you go to trace that? They can't. We can. We got paperwork. Matter of fact, we can even go deep as this. Let's just use the slavery now. I ain't gonna use the free people, the people that was never slaves. None of that. I'm just gonna use slavery. Even with slavery, there was insurance documents. We was insured, like cattle, like animals and stuff like that. Like if you own a farm, you know, they insure the cattle. We was insured people. We can even go back and trace that through insurance claims and stuff like that. Come on, man. We ain't like y'all. Then they mentioned something about, do black Americans know that kings and queens walk amongst them? Yeah, we know we got kings and queens walking amongst us. We got history on this land. We ain't got no African kings and queens walking amongst us. We ain't got that. It wasn't that many goddamn kings and queens in Africa like that anyway. Most of them was peasants. Majority of people in Africa was peasants. There wasn't no kings and queens. Even the people that had tribes, there was all them Babas and stuff that was over tribes. They wasn't shit. They wasn't. They was just the man of the village or the woman of the village. But they weren't ruling nothing. But over here, that's what we the real kings and queens. We the real people that put in work for our folks, that we can look back. That's why we love our history so much. That's why we love reading books from our ancestors so much. That's why we honor them so much. That's why we give tribute. That's why we give so much tribute to them all the time. Dr. Frances Quest Wells said, a lot of people read her ISIS papers. You got brother Dr. Claude Anderson, Frederick Douglass, Booker T. Washington, Martin Luther King. We got all these people that we can look up to and read about. Langston Hughes. All these people we can read about. Who they got? They ain't got nobody. They ain't got nobody they can look up to that invented anything that made their country better. So for them to say that like kings and queens, y'all wasn't no kings and queens over there like that. Y'all was vicious towards each other. Y'all sold each other. The things that y'all do to women and children even to this day. You think that's some king and that's tyrant king and queen type shit that y'all had going on. But we royal over here. Well, we always been royal over here. That's why we different from y'all. That's why I always say black Americans are the greatest human beings on this planet. We are better than every group of people in this world. There's nobody that's better than us. Even I try to think like, who come in a close second to us? Nobody. I get the closest people I give is the South Americans. That's the closest I give. But other than that, black Americans rank number one. We are the greatest people on this planet, y'all. Nobody can touch us. Our intellect, our wit, our fight against white supremacy, us not submitting to them people, us constantly thinking about our future towards our people. Even when people throw in the negative side of what we got going on, even people still try to mimic that. People try to mimic the negative side of our culture also. They mimic every little part of us. We different, man. We ain't trying to mimic no African kingpin. But anyway, Yeah, man, they crazy as hell. We know who we are. We don't gotta trace our roots back to Africa. We're gonna trace our roots to who? 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 Who out there that I should be proud of to trace myself to? Who? That's what I want to know. Somebody let me know who. And I ain't trying to be like mean or xenophobic or nothing or hateful, but who? Think about it, y'all. Who? Who's worth it? For me to just think like, oh my God, I think I got an African great grandma and granddad that did this. Where can I find it at? How will I know what they have done? They don't have no records. They barely got birth certificates. They barely know where they was born. A lot of these people was born in a manger. Anyway, what y'all think about that, man? I think we should trace our roots to America. That's what's important, not Africa. Unless you can trace your roots back to Africa, cool. No slight against you. But for me, all my stuff come from this land, not from Africa. My grandparents never talked to me about Africa. My great-grandmother never talked to me about Africa at all. I was blessed to see my great-grandmother living. And she never talked about no funky Africans or no Caribbeans or no South Americans or no Canadians. Straight niggas from Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee. And parts of Louisiana. But anyway, salute to everybody, and I love you.